Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. I want to thank all of our listeners from all over the world. Please do subscribe and share if you're not already. All right, let's get into it.
These messages are getting old. I feel like they're going to be passionate. Let's get them.
Bro, I think you just hit on something really important, like bigger than what we've been talking about even, which is forming a manifestation group to manifest, right? To go beyond what we've even been talking about, right? But like, what do we want in the world for ourselves, for humanity, for the future, right? Like all of it.
I feel like starseeds are here on a predetermined contract. I think that there are certain things that we have to do. Like everything else is what it is. And it's funny because you look at life paths. I don't know if you've ever done that, but you take your birthday and your name and you figure out the numerology in your name and you put it all into this and you add and subtract and you come up with a soul number. It all comes down to a single digit. Whatever that single digit is your soul number, your life path number, if you will. And people find meaning, find purpose in it. I'm a life path 5, and if you're not familiar, I am just described as an observer. I don't have a mission. I'm just here to watch and report, is what they say. I'm like, what? I have something I'm supposed to do, and they're like, nope, you're just here to watch.
So I met this chick in Ashland, Oregon, who was a self-proclaimed like clairvoyant and medium, and she told me a bunch of shit that was just like, what? And then she's like, dude, your mission, your reason for being, you're a yellow light warrior, and you're here to guide us into the new revolution.
Yeah, we're here to bring humanity into type 1 status. And what type 1 status is when we get to meet the fucking other civilizations in the cosmos.
Right.
And the only way that we're allowed to do that, Dave, is to raise the vibration of the planet. As soon there's no.
So did you just say that you're only here to? I don't believe what you said. You said you're only here to witness. I don't believe that because you have so much more to give.
Well, I think that's the paradox of it all, is because while we're here waiting, the only reason we're still waiting, and Artemis and Vader, I see y'all, and y'all agree with this. I love both of y'all.
Give us 1 second. Give us 1 second to wrap this up. We're going to get to the messages right away. Love you guys.
We're getting to a point where it's the only reason we're still waiting is because people are still waiting. Does it make sense? As soon as we give up on the current structure and money and all of that, the two-party system, all the labels, as soon as we can raise the vibration to a critical mass, they expected it to happen before now.
You know what it might take?
What's it going to take?
It might take the impact of an asteroid, or it might take just sea melt or ice melt to raise the sea levels 200 feet. And then all of a sudden...
common enemy. You know what I mean.
Common enemy. And all of a sudden, we're united on a one front, like, holy fuck, we are all in this together.
Yeah.
Right?
But see,
have you ever survived a natural disaster?
Oh, absolutely.
Which one?
2 of them.
Tell me about it.
I'm from Indiana. We're notorious for tornado season. Right at the end of Tornado Alley.
Fuck.
I've had tornadoes literally destroy my neighbor's house, the fucking supermarket across the street, and somehow miss my shit.
Wow.
Twice. Same fucking thing, tornadoes. Why do you think I live in Arizona? Fuck a tornado.
I have no idea, bro, and I'm learning.
Because
You know,
Florida, I mean, I had
I'm all
friends in
in.
Florida that are like, come to Florida. I had friends that were currently on their way to Arizona, like, let's do it together. And I
Yeah.
calmly sat down and I said, well, I mean, in Florida, you got the fucking hurricanes, and it was just at the beginning of sinkholes. And I'm like, I saw a sinkhole, and I was like, fuck Florida.
Well,
Fuck
and
Florida.
sea level
And I'm
rise
kind
too.
of on the same. I'm
Florida is
kind of on the
gone.
same shit. And
Florida,
we got
it's
Dave's
gonna
a Northern
disappear.
California boy. We got Artemis in L.A.
But you know what's up
You
here?
couldn't pay
You know
me.
what's
You
up?
couldn't pay me enough to come and live in California. I really believe with all of my soul that shit's going to be gone in 2 years.
Well, it's burning right now at a feverish
It's
pace. The
been burning
largest
for
fire
8
ever.
years.
It was 500,000 acres on Wednesday, and I don't even know what it is now because there's been 2 days of heavy wind, so it's grown like it's totally fucking out of control. They only have it, they say like 30% in control. What does that mean? They're just trying to make you feel good, is what that means.
They've mastered it in the past 10 years.
Yeah.
But
No,
I mean,
they have not mastered it. It will go where it goes. And
they've mastered the art of masking, like telling you what you want to hear on the news.
Right.
We've
But
both been
the fire
watching
will
Nate
go,
Reed.
but the fire will go where it goes. And like, bro, so like in 2017, I evacuated at 3:30 in the morning, and the fire was 4 blocks from my house.
Was
I
that this
mean,
week?
I was just renting a room, so it wasn't my house. But like, I still almost lost all my shit, and had to pack all my shit in my car. And I got a shitty little like 1994 work truck, right? So I had to move that, right? So I'm like, oh fuck, I don't want that to like just burn up. So I had to move that like 5 blocks away under somebody else's like this public solar panel thing, and I found a parking spot under that. Everybody else was doing the same thing, kind of, and so I put a bunch of shit that I really like. Really, if people are gonna steal it, go for it. But nobody stole anything because everybody was like, and they had cops like basically shooting fucking looters.
That's an eye-opening event. We need to get to that and analyze it, because you cannot feel the same way you did the day before, the day after. But we get
You never go back. You never go
these
back,
fuckers.
bro.
Our homies are waiting patiently. We got Artemis on line 1. Let's get it.
See, and this is why I did that podcast about the dimensional breakdown on Anchor, because we're noticing a lot of this stuff, right? As far as paranormal stuff, and then even in our personal lives, things just aren't right. Things are just getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And, it's like we have to take the time to make sure we're cool, our environment, these, heavy frequencies and these dark spirits. And then even in the regular world, it's like a lot of shit is going on and shit is just not right. People out here struggling. I feel you on that. It's a lot.
Oh,
Critical mass is a crazy thing.
we're in
I
a
mean,
heavy place. We're
it's gonna
we're in a heavy
feel
place
worse
right now,
before it feels
and
better.
it's not going to get any better. In Thank you for saying that, because we both said the same thing at the same time.
If you don't follow Artemis, I mean, everybody needs to be on Artemis. She says some brilliant shit. She's on a level that I've tried to get to.
But I am now.
We do have. I mean, y'all can't handle the truth. Up on line 2, we have
What's going on, Mind Fox and Dave Smith? Okay, so ghosts and demons are real, but black folks know better than to mess with that kind of stuff. I'm just saying.
Oh, that was
Artemis,
fucking
are you
awesome.
getting your rebuttal ready? That was the Dark Lord of Stereo, Vader himself.
That was awesome.
Still waiting on the cantina, bro. Still waiting
That was
on
great.
the cantina.
And I think he was basically like paraphrasing.
He was paraphrasing.
Well, no, what I'm saying is he was basically paraphrasing somebody who,
Oh.
because that's from like a movie, right? Like, or some comic. It's from a comic, right? He's like, you know what? Horror movies wouldn't exist if it was black families, because we'd be like, the house is
Right.
haunted. I'm fucking out of here.
Ain't nobody going up in there. Fuck
Yeah,
y'all.
exactly. So he was basically paraphrasing on that. That's all I'm saying. But it was still brilliant. It was awesome, and I'm not taking anything away from it. And I love that. And thank you for your comment. So I don't even know why the fuck I
Vader is
said what I
brilliant.
said, because it was stupid.
Vader 66 was one of the first people that I followed on Stereo that didn't invite me and that I didn't know before Stereo. He was one of the first people I discovered in this space.
Right on. What's up, Vader?
Brilliant dude. He has some in-depth conversations on some shit. And sometimes you're like, come on, man. And the other times you're like, oh damn, I can't help it. I have to get in on this. We got a victim in the building who can't handle the truth. We got Mike, I'm gonna kill do it. I don't know. Should I wait until we can see what he's saying? No, let's do it.
Ain't nothing
I don't
to
know
it
if
but
that's
to kill
true
do it.
or false.
Ain't nothing to it but to kill do it. God damn. Did I just say that? Yes, I did.
Did I? I didn't understand that.
Oh,
Let's do it again.
I don't know if that's true or false.
I don't know if that's true or false. That's what the brother said, and I agree with him. I don't know either, man. Everything's a fucking lie until you prove it to me, right? That's how we should look at life, right? Everything's a lie until you prove it to me, right?
Yeah, I mean,
don't just believe shit because it's shoveled into your fucking pie hole.
People say there's demons. I guess some kind of weird entity that I can't see. Of course, I'm going to have to identify with what I've already been told about life. Oh, it's a ghost. Oh, it's a demon. Oh, it's this, it's that. I don't believe in heaven or hell. I don't.
You know what, bro? It might be
towards
indigestion.
I saw a meme once that indigestion.
I always say go to the toilet first before you go to like possession, right? Because like a lot of things can be ruled out in the toilet. I'm just saying.
Feel a lot better after you drop all the kids off at the pool. I'm just saying, Vader.
That's it. And you know, if you've had a little bit of Thai food or something spicy, little Indian, little bit of Thai food, right? You know,
it clogs up the pipes. You got to drink a couple beers and loosen that shit up.
It kind of unclogs the pipes like in an unsettling way, and things can get kind of like, you know, chaotic for a moment, right? So like
spiritual experience.
and you might not want to go that far from the toilet. So I'm just saying, like, if you've never experienced that, I'm not trying to bring that on to you, but I would encourage anybody listening to eat some Indian food because it's wonderful.
Indian food is dope. I'm down with some Indian food.
I love it.
So we got Dave Smith and another thing on the phone with us. We have Artemisia for Lore on Instagram, Facebook, and all your other social medias, who is a witch. She breaks the shit down. Yeah, she breaks the shit down for you in detail. But she's She's a Wiccan.
Okay.
She's a Wiccan. She's a a white witch, but she's actually a black woman. So I don't know how that works out.
So I studied a little bit of the Anton LaVey school of thought myself.
Oh, come on, Anton LaVey. Come on, man.
I lived in San Francisco for 20 years. I lived about a block down from the Church of Satan.
Which at the end of the day, Anton LaVey, he's a very smart dude. I've listened to him talk several times. I've listened to him talk, and he was, well, I mean, at the end of the day, what I think it was is a competition. A lot of our holidays and whatnot came from paganism, and they were always kind of confused with paganism. So he decided to let's just do this other thing. And actually, the Book of Satan, they have all the same events that the Bible has, that the Quran has. They have a Sodom and Gomorrah event. I mean, they didn't call it Sodom and Gomorrah, but there was a mass extinction event where even Satan was like, "Y'all stupid." How is that a thing?
Have you ever read? Have you ever read the Satanic Bible?
All parable. Huh? Yes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I went through. Okay, so in a nutshell, I was
my favorite. It's my favorite.
I was a preacher's kid where we actually, I had a brother that was 9 years older than me, and I had a sister that was 12 years older than me.
Dude,
and we actually sat down as a family. We actually sat down as a family once.
Whoa.
Hold on.
Dude, my brother's 10 years older than me, and my sister's 12 years older than me.
Shut the fuck up. There's another one. All right, so we actually sat down as a family once. My dad was a hardcore alcoholic. I mean, Jack and Jim were his favorite people in the world. And he did most of his drinking at church. He would go to the church and get fucking toasted and come home. And sometimes I would, I pissed mom off. She'd like, wait till your fucking dad gets home. And dad would come home in this weird fucking otherworldly rage. And I've gone through walls. I've had some experiences. And one day we sat down as a family after I went through the wall, as a matter of fact. And we sat down as a family, and both of my parents explained to all three of us that there were things that happened in the community, there's things that happened in the world, there's things that happened in the house. And
you don't talk about things that happen in the house
to be known by the other two. Right. We have at home, what happens at home stays at home. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So when I finally got to Vegas, I'm like,
I never heard that.
I had already been through worse than that. I spent years in children's homes. I mean, we have other conversations to have. I've been in group homes.
We got 3 more podcasts on this. That's wild.
The more we build, the more we build. But I mean, all of that shit made me who I am right now. But just some of the experiences I had as a air quotes Christian made me want to read the Satanic Bible. Made me want to read the Quran, the Necronomicon, all of it.
Well, it got same thing. Having a father who crammed the Bible down my throat.
He really didn't, though.
He was a creep. He really didn't, but he did in a subtle way. My dad did. So it made me curious, like you're saying. So I investigated everything. Santeria, fucking everything. I bought books on every single religion I could find. And the thing that fascinated me the most,
I read all kinds of fucking weird fucking books. Case for Christ gave me more evidence against than for.
The thing that fascinated me the most, bro, was Aleister Crowley and Satanism.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't say anything that they tell you it says. It says
it encourages you to be a good person.
Do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt. It doesn't say hurt other people. It says Be the best you can be. Do what thou wilt. Do what you
The best
can.
you can do. Yeah, do what you can. Not what other people think you can. Do what you can. And
And
it's honestly,
the Bible basically says the same thing. God will help those who help
oh no,
themselves.
the Bible, you're all considered a sinner. So that's the only difference. In the Bible, we're born fucked.
Right.
That's the only difference.
In the Bible,
Literally.
you're looking for a handout. In the Satanic Bible,
We're looking
you're
for a
flipping.
come up. We're looking to atone for some shit we didn't even do.
Yeah, and in the Satanic Bible, you're flipping everybody off, saying "fuck you." I don't have to atone for shit, motherfucker. Eat my ass.
It was Aleister Crowley text. What other people believe about me is none of my business.
That's it.
That was Aleister Crowley text. I still carry that today.
And you know what's
I
funny?
still think that it's
you know,
only going to cloud your judgment. Everybody, like, you're worried about, man, I look fat, my fucking hair. I gotta, I don't know,
Aleister Crowley
whatever.
was a player, dude, and he was fat and bald, whatever.
Right, but he said, you're looking at your own impurities, and that's all you can think about, and you're judging yourself, considering others, people judging you, and they're all doing the exact same fucking thing. Fuck, I look stupid. I look fat in this dress. I look whatever it is.
What a great way to get laid, huh? In the 70s, in the 70s, right? To come up with a theory of like, hey, it doesn't matter if you're tall and skinny or short and fat. Like, I will eat your pussy till you climax better than you have ever. And like, oh my God, like, let's open a church. Right?
Dave Smith, everybody. And then we'll open a church, right?
Yeah. The church of the perfect climax.
The Church of the Perfect Climax. There's actually a church in Indiana
The
that
church
is
of
a cannabis
church
church.
of it.
Like they wove a religion around weed, and
The
as
church of
long as you,
eternal. Oh.
they,
Oh, I love it.
that's awesome.
And it's not sacrilegious to me because I grew up with it. And same to you, right? It's just funny, right? Like other people get butthurt about this stuff. But to me, it's just funny because, dude, I had it rammed down my throat my entire life. And it's all hypocrisy. All the organized shit is hypocrisy. People are atoning for the bullshit that they do throughout their week, but they're not becoming a better person. I mean, some people do, of course. But, what I saw and what made me run from it as fast as I could was the hypocrisy. At 9 years old, so as a preacher's kid, right? At 5 years old, I made my dad pay me $5 to go to church. At 9 years old, I decided it wasn't worth the $5. I didn't want the $5 and I wasn't going. And he's like, fuck that, you're going. So he brought
I
me to
learned
church and
the fucking.
check this out. This is a funny story. So he brings me anyway. I'm like, I'm not going. My dad was a college football player. So he picked me up. I'm a 9-year-old kid. Picks me up, carries me, puts me in the car, takes me to church. He's like, all right, we're going to church. I'm like, I told you I wasn't going, right? Like I've always been a stubborn ass motherfucker. So I grabbed a hold of the chair, the car seat, and I was like, I would not fucking let go. So he looked like a fucking child abuser trying to like yank on my feet and shit. Like pulled my shoes off, pulled my socks off, but I wouldn't let go. And so finally he gave up. And that was the last fucking time I went to church, and I was 9 years old.
I was the other guy. I was the observer. I mean, this is one of the observer moments. I knew that this town, there was no kids in this town. And if they were kids, they were 9, 10. There was no babies. So I would volunteer for the nursery, right? So I got to go sit in this other room. And I don't know, maybe it was something that everybody all knew, but I would sit there for like 5, 10 minutes and I would go home. for like an hour, and then I'd come back right before it all let out. I thought I was being slick. Maybe I wasn't, now that I'm saying it out loud, but I mean, there was really nothing to do in the room. There was no cell phones back then. We didn't have that shit.
Everybody knew.
Yeah, that's another thing. It was a different fucking time.
And another
We're
thing,
really 200 years away from, maybe 250 years away from no plumbing, no electricity, no TV, definitely no fucking internet or cell phones.
There you go.
Would it be so bad? If that were to happen today, all the electricity shuts off, all the communication goes down,
How
we
many
would have the
people?
I mean, how many kids would come to us for advice, help? What do I do?
How many people would know how to plant a garden? How many people would know how to source irrigation? How many people would know how to build a fire and cook over a fire?
How many people take the shit for granted and think they could if they had to, and realize all too late that, oh, God damn it.
Every single one of them, and they'd die in a fiery pit on the fucking doorway to Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like they do every Black Friday. All those dumb motherfuckers just swarm and like, that's the water buffalo of like humanity, right? Like the dumbest, most herd mentality motherfuckers. Like Black Friday. I'm gonna step on a motherfucker to get a TV. Right? Like you gotta
I
be a
saw
piece
somebody
of
posted meme.
I'll say it. You
Posted
gotta be
meme
a
just
piece of shit.
today.
You gotta be a
This
piece
dude
of
got
shit to step on a human being for a fucking piece of plastic. I'm gonna say it. I'll say it. You gotta be a piece of shit.
This dude
Fuck you,
said on
Stereo.
Facebook.
Ban me, Stereo.
This guy
Fuckers.
on Facebook today, he said, I just bought a fucking prison bus for $4,000. He said, all I need is 50 jumpsuits and 50 friends to come play this prank with me. And all the comments were like, we should do that on Black Friday.
Good on man.
We'll all go to Walmart. We'll all just jump out and run different directions in our orange jumpsuits.
And just fully loot the place and then right back to the vehicle and then ditch the vehicle somewhere,
right? Exactly.
And just never register it in your name so it's still registered to the United States government. Oh, snap.
Even better, it would be like we would all have our own cars already at the Walmart or wherever we're going, the mall, and
right.
we'll
Everybody
all
fill your trunk.
park
Except
in
they
the
got
middle, and we'll all
cameras
run to a
everywhere
car.
now. No, but
We'll
you can't
all
do
run
that.
to a car and make
can't do
motions
that.
like we're breaking in and stealing it, and
Can't
it's
do
our
that
own
now
car.
because Walmart's all
we
all
need
video.
to do that now. What are you talking about? Can't we need to do that now?
Well, we should stage it like we're doing that, but then not do it.
Free publicity.
Just to
free
fuck with
publicity. No, I want to. You read my name. I'm the Mind Fox. I want to do a big fucking public display like that. I think that's.
Well, that's what I'm.
It's
That's what I'm
in my
saying.
head.
Maybe we're saying the same thing. So stage like you're gonna raid it and rip it off, but then don't actually do it and just draw the attention.
I'm not saying we're gonna go rob the place. I'm just saying like we'll show up and the preconceived notion of the people are like, oh fuck, and they'll feel threatened all because we're wearing orange. It's the new black, you know.
Hey, there you go. You know, yeah. Oh, dude, I just started a new business and I ordered orange T-shirts.
Right on.
I'm gonna do curb painting. Right?
Oh
To
shit,
paint people. Who do we got?
I said, oh shit, we done lost all the listeners.
Whoops, what did I say? What did I say?
I don't know.
God damn it. I always do that.
I'm gonna hop off here though real quick. I'm gonna hop off here. I got a whole group of people hanging out to about 30, 40 feet away from me.
Oh my
And I've
goodness.
been standing out here in the parking lot talking to you because they're
Well,
loud.
cool.
Couldn't have
Well, you
done that
go
over
have
there.
fun.
But I mean, fuck, we have so many talks we have to have now.
This is unreal.
Remind me
Unreal.
the next time we talk, I'll have to tell you about how I got put in the first group home.
Oh my goodness. There we
Yeah.
go. That's the start of the next one.
Yeah. It's
Bro.
it's a life altering. Don't think like I've thought this way ever since type shit.
Oh, I got a bunch of those stories.
Right. And I feel like they're all going to compare. Like we've both had a lot of similar experiences. That's crazy.
Yep. I think I'm here to tell you, don't do what I did.
Oh, well, I fucked it up pretty good.
All right. Well,
I
let's
fucked it up
compare
pretty good.
scripts.
I got emancipated when I was 16, and I've been on my own ever since, with zero
17.
help from relatives. And it makes me have an attitude towards people today that feel like, well, this program won't help me or that program won't help me. And I'm like, fuck a program. Get off your ass. Like, there's always a way. There's always a way. I've been into a restaurant and argued with the fucking manager until they're like, fuck it, just give him some food. Because I was broke and homeless. I've been there. I've always been self-sufficient though. I've always figured out for myself. And for a lot of other fucking people too. It's annoying. But anyway, on another episode of You Can't
Many
Fucking
many
Help
other
Kids.
many other episodes. Brother, you have a
'Cause
wonderful night, and give a cheers to the give a hug to the Mrs. Fox over there.
we'll do it publicly real quick. I'm gonna come over here and
They wash their uniforms, right? They put the uniforms in the dryer. They don't know they shrink. But you just use your shoes.
real quick.
Hello, everybody. The news show pops up sometimes.
Much
during
love
certain
to
things.
Mrs. Fox.
No, it's good to see you guys. I miss you. Oh, it's only one of you. What happened to everyone else?
We're about to call it good.
Well,
They
wash their
have Mrs.
uniforms.
Fox?
Hello, Mr. Dave. It's good to see you. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have no
As
idea
per
what we were
always. You guys have a great night.
I will. Are you having a good one?
Yeah.
What the hell's that?
Wait,
What do you mean?
You mentioned the ability to just pop out to Vegas if you wanted to.
We're planning a trip the week of the 9th.
So my birthday is Thursday the 9th. And I think we're going to arrive that day and leave Saturday. Because we have prior engagements, events we have to work here in Phoenix on Sunday.
9-9.
9-9.
We're gonna
9-9-76. I'm
Dude,
bicentennial and shit. I'm a dragon in Chinese horoscopes.
I've never been to Vegas.
I've been one time and I did not have very much fun because I had a bunch of kids with me.
get some Groupon. Get your Groupon on. Go to Vegas. Do some zip lining because holy freaking hell, that is fun.
We know enough that we're gonna have much more fun this time than we did the last one. And I would be honored if you would join us for that. I would be honored.
Yeah,
Pretty much,
I would
baby.
definitely consider that because I need a fucking break.
I would never have one.
Honestly, when we were there last time, we got the Tiffany rate, who is her oldest daughter. She works for Hampton, so she put them in her name. Put them in her name, and they were like $40 a night. I think I paid $102 for 2 nights at Embassy Suites. I was on the 10th floor out of 11, Like everybody was like, "Are you serious? That's a dope fucking room, bro." And second night there, Terry Ann, who's the younger daughter, gets onto her Groupon, and we're maybe 3 blocks from Circus Circus. Circus Circus had rooms on Groupon for $30 a night.
Oh shit! They
So
probably
there's a
do
game.
because it's just opening up, huh?
Yeah, well, I know Circus Circus looks old as fuck. It
But
does
so
not
much
look new.
smaller, and it's classic. Like who?
It's a pretty cool place. They have actual quarter slots. Like walking right in the door, there's the quarter slots. We were legit about to leave, and Terry Ann was like, "I have to spend every dollar and see what I can make." On the way out the door, and there was the quarter slots, and she had some quarters, and she won like $17 in quarters. Just handed Tammy a handful, or Foxy, and she goes over to her own machine and dumps some quarters in it, and she wins her own $15 like instantly. I'm like, what? She dropped like 6 quarters into this machine and won like $17. I was like, what? And she was like, all right, that's it. I finally got to gamble. Let's leave. And we legit cashed in her ticket and left Vegas on that.
That's my style.
So, and literally, we did all the gambling we did the last trip. In the last 5 minutes, we were in Vegas before we were like, all right, let's fill up the car and leave.
Yeah, my deal would be like cash in on the cheap breakfast, like the pool time, right? Like any kind of fucking entertainment.
Here's the point, Dave. There's an app for Google, for Android, for Apple. It's called Pop Slots. And playing the game on Pop Slots, you earn points that you can redeem via MGM, which is another app that you'll have to download. But Foxy just got us a free night at the Bellagio.
What?
And she's about 20,000 points from getting us a second night. And I said, fuck it. Don't spend your energy on that. I mean, you still have 100,000 points. We could get, there's another thing you can redeem this 35, 65, or $75 in room service a day. I'm like, word? Yeah. Like, I think I told her I don't think we should go there.
That would probably get you a couple dinners.
Yeah. Dinners, drinks, expensive dinners. And
good one.
So we've both been playing this Pop Slot. She has like, she had 225,000 points when she tried to redeem it. And earlier in the year, it was good. You could get 2 nights for 225, but now it's 250. And she went to get the 2 nights and it was 250. And she's like, fuck. So she was like, I didn't actually get the room, but the points are allocated on MGM now, so I have to use them. So she still has like another 100,000 points to play with. I'm like, well, fuck. I mean, you can get free play. There's a $25, a $50, and $100 free play. And I think $100 is only like 80,000. So I'm like, maybe I have my own like 38,000. I think I could get the 65 room service for the day, and then she could get the free play. We could have fun there and not spend a fucking penny. Not one penny.
Exactly.
Just time that was invested clicking buttons.
Exactly. If you work it well and you like only drink while you're at the fucking like whatchamacallit, right? Then you get free drinks, but those drinks are kind of shitty, so you know, whatever, you're gonna spend some money, but you can cut it down so much.
When we were there the first time, Tiffany had enough to get two free nights, and they were booked, they said, through October. I was like, what? And then Tammy tried to do it, and they told her, well, I mean, you have enough for this room and we can do that. So they were going to allow it. So I don't know what happened between now and then, but at the time when Tiffany tried to do it, they were like, yeah,
everything's open for negotiation. Everything's open for negotiation at all times.
They do a certain amount, like there's 500 rooms in the Bellagio. They do 1/3 of it comp. And on slow nights, they'll add more. So certain nights of the week, so if you go Monday through Wednesday, there's more availability than there is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, totally.
So it depends on the days you want to go. So they actually have a week. One of the perks is a midweek or a weekday.
That's how you would want to roll, right? Like it's roll in like on a Wednesday or something.
Yes. Well, I mean, we want to go. Yeah, I kind of do want to go Wednesday, but I mean, money is a factor, and any time I could spend getting that money before we go. There is a plus. I can turn on DoorDash when we're there. I can turn on DoorDash and go hit some orders. And I know people that do DoorDash and go. Yeah. Well, and he was like, "Don't do it on the strip. Don't do it down here," because we were half a block from the strip.
No, do it like outside of the strip, so you don't get caught in traffic.
But to be honest, Dave, there's the strip, and the strip is there for gambling.
Right.
If you're not gambling,
the rest of it,
you're not fucking with the strip. You're over on Fremont, which is the old strip, and the Fremont experience. Oh my God,
it's way better.
You see it. Until you see it with your own eyes, you'll be like, all right, I kind of think I understand what you're saying, and then you see it, and you're like, oh, this is way cooler than that.
No, I've heard that. It's way better. And I've never been there, but I've heard this from so many people.
It's crazy.
It's old school. It's killer. There's no fucking neon.
It's indoors, but it's outdoors, and the whole sky is this screen that they project waterfalls and weird, crazy shit, and like Pink Floydish.
That's where that is? I thought that was. Yeah. I thought that shit was on the strip. That's over there.
No, the strip is casinos, man, and hotels. That's it, and restaurants. And he was like, I spent the whole first day on the strip, and I expected it to be this other thing. I'm like, well, none of us have been to Fremont yet, and I had 5 people say, if you go to Vegas, don't leave until you do Fremont. I'm like, okay. And fortunately, it was Eric's birthday, and he wanted to do Fremont on mushrooms. So we got to Fremont, we dropped the mushrooms, and we just vibed. Foxy did the zip line, and that's like 11 stories above all of it. Crazy. Terry Ann, the youngest daughter, talked her into doing it. And there's pictures. There's her spiritual. She had a spiritual experience, Dave. She didn't do any mushrooms.
Oh shit! But well, there you go.
She went across the zip line, and she came across the other side like she just got kicked in the face by both back hoofs of a horse. Like it was bad. She was bawling, they said, when she got off the zip line. And Tammy's just laughing at her. Ah, it's funny.
Well, it's a growth experience.
Oh, it was definite growth. You could see it. You
ever jumped out of a plane?
No. I would love.
That shit'll blow your mind. You ever gone bungee jumping?
I have bungee jumped once. That was pretty cool. I want to do there's the people that go out in the lakes and whatever, and they have like the machines that shoot via water, like they shoot up like a superhero and shit.
Oh yeah, they get to like float.
Yeah.
That
through the
looks
water
wild.
stream.
But it looks like you could just do a head plant and be dead. Right?
You could get serious fucking yeah.
Like,
It could be a
whoops, oh
bad.
shit, I got off balance. I fucked it all up. Oh shit, oh fuck, head plant, fuck, dead. Right, you're done. I could totally see it. Because I
Well,
see
I
them.
mean,
They look sketchy as fuck. I mean, it looks fun, but it
they
looks
give
sketchy
you
as
they give you the feel
fuck.
because sometimes they hit that angle and they'll dive. They'll
Oh,
go under the
yeah.
water.
Well, no, but if you're 100 feet up, diving into the water, your neck is broken.
Yeah.
You're done. We're flimsy little humans, right?
I don't know, man. I don't
Yeah,
know.
dude.
I think
Don't try it. Don't try it, bro. I hear you sounding fascinated, and then I'm seeing you with a fucking neck cast on. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I feel like as long as we prepare every cell of our body for what's about to happen.
Bullshit.
Um, have you ever read the book? It's called The Celestine Prophecy.
Yes, and I've lived through shit that you're talking about, where like I should have been dead. I jumped off a fucking 3-story building,
Mm-hmm.
but I was like, I didn't do anything wrong, man. And I fucking bounced, and I fucking woke up.
You jumped out of a car once. It was probably only doing like 25, but that
Yeah.
was significant because the voices in my head were like, "No, just do it. It'll be. I mean, you'll live." I was like, "Okay," so I just did it, and everybody in the car was like, and that was I could see all their faces as I was exiting the car in an awkward angle.
Yeah. I got a bunch of
And
stitches. I've always been
I
that,
didn't
hey,
get
watch
wounded.
this guy.
I didn't get one stitch. I had a slight little road rash on one of my elbows. That was about it. I did roll like 50 times,
Nice. So you lucked out.
but
Yeah.
I
When I was
think that
growing
I
up,
unconsciously listened to the voices. Like I almost never heard them, but on this
sometimes you
instance,
just
they were like, "Do it, do it."
sometimes you just get lucky. But yeah, speaking to listening to the voices, I used to listen to them. And we played this game when I was in high school where we would jump up on the roof of the car as your friend is driving. You would climb out the window onto the hood of the car, climb out the window, down the windshield, and onto the hood of the car, and hold onto the hood of the car. And they would, and they would try to shake you off of the car. And it was good fun when you were drunk. And so this one time, my friend's doing this, and I'm still on the hood of the car, like holding on to the roof of the car, right? And he's just fucking floors it, across this dirt field, and then hits the brakes, and I just go sliding down the windshield, off the hood of the car, start doing somersaults, and I come upon a fucking fire hydrant, dude. And it was just lucky. I just like hit the top of it with my hands and kept doing leapfrog. But like if I was 1/4 rotation off, that fire hydrant would have killed me.
Oh shit!
Right? Like it
Yeah,
would have broke.
I mean,
It would have broken my spine, my neck. And there was another time where I was running through the woods in the middle of the night, and I caught a fucking piece of barbed wire, dude, and it stuck in to my eye socket, my left eye socket, but it went up, so it didn't hit my eyeball. But all of a sudden, I get picked up off the ground and swung around, and I land flat on my back. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Right? I ran into a fucking barbed wire fence.
yeah. See, this is another talk right here because I was the last car in the line of stop traffic to get into Ozfest '97, and it was a country road with some waviness to it, and I could see the van coming. And the closer it got, I'm like, this van's about to fucking hit me. There's no way
Oh,
it's
no,
gonna
it
slow
didn't.
down. And I heard the screech of the tires, and my tenseness let up because I thought, all right, cool, it's gonna miss me. It caught
Smash.
an inch of my bumper on the left side, like just
That's
barely
enough.
caught me, but
That's
caught me
enough.
hard enough, doing about 55 miles an hour, they estimated.
Fuck, bro.
Hit me so hard that it knocked my trunk through my back seat,
Oh my
wrapped it
God.
through my back seat, and it meanwhile went sideways, and the whole driver's side of my car hit the fucking car, the trunk of the car in front of me. And I didn't
Glad
even
you're
notice
okay,
she
bro.
was racing. I didn't even notice she was racing a Mustang. And he didn't see me at all. He, boom, pushed me further, hit the whole fucking passenger side of my car. Can you picture it? Completely destroyed my 1988 Chevy Celebrity. Completely destroyed it.
Wow.
And they were
I just
telling me
got
at the junkyard,
I just got
if he
I
would,
just got minorly rear-ended, and I've got whiplash like a motherfucker. So I
I
can
know,
only
but
imagine, bro.
the moral of the story is I'm going to get the damages. Of course, the car's totaled. I just want to get my liability. I want released from this car so I can hand it over to insurance. And they said, and I quote, if they would have gone maybe 3 miles faster an hour,
You'd be
the
dead.
trajectory, like, look at it. He put it up on a lift and he showed it to me. How close when it wrapped the back bumper wrapped through the back seat. It went through the back seat, and he said
I hear you.
it was like millimeters away from the gas tank. If they were to go in 2 miles, maybe 3 faster, it
Kaboom.
would have punctured your gas tank, and your shit would have exploded with you in it. I was like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, thanks for telling me that.
You were damn near there. And I have 100 more of those where I'm like, I told somebody once,
Me too.
I do get kind of reckless because I feel like I have a whole team of motherfuckers making sure the shit don't like I might pop a tire and that somebody's out there holding it for 10 miles until I get home. And
It's
I get
funny you say that.
the
It's
flat
funny.
hit.
It's really funny you say that. I used to get reckless because I knew, I didn't think, I knew I had a
Yeah.
team of guardian angels working overtime. But
Well, we call
now,
them angels, but I don't think that's the word.
I think they've started retiring now. You know, so I'm like,
No,
I'm not calling
they're
on them anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to chill out.
I don't think you could really call on them. Either they help or they don't.
Yeah, well, there you go.
They're
But
just
I'm not
here
out. Yeah,
walking.
I'm not gonna do that shit. I've chilled out.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, we got 42 more podcasts we gotta do.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Because y'all can't handle the truth.
I mean, y'all can't handle the truth. Like, are you kidding me, dude? My brother's 10 years older than me, and my sister is 12 years older than me. Like, what?
Yeah. My brother was it was Swartz Creek, Michigan. My brother was the local weed dealer. And so he got expelled at 16, but so did my sister 2 years earlier because she had a child at 16. So both of which were expelled from the house. They emancipated my sister, and my brother, they just threw him to the wolves. And it ultimately, my brother, I got a call. I shouldn't even start it, but I got a call that from my nephew, the child out of wedlock at 16. We're only 6 years apart, 7 years apart.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I'm his uncle, barely.
Uncle brother.
And he's like, nobody will talk to me, man. He calls me all furious. Your brother got picked up by authorities. I don't even think it's the police though. I need to know more. So I call my dad. I'm like, did something just happen to Ed? And he's like, well, what do you know? I said, well, I just talked to Brett. And he's like, okay. He's like, okay. He said, well, I mean, you really shouldn't tell Brett, but this and this and that. And my brother worked at Kinko's, and the FBI showed up and arrested him, along with 17 other people in the Flint, Michigan area for a pedophile ring. It was a made to order, like the internet was still pretty fresh.
Oh, shit.
And they were fulfilling requests. I still to this day don't know what role my brother played, but he had a tap on his work computer for 2 months before they executed a warrant. So I imagine he did something while he was at Kinko's. I don't know. I
Right.
I know
Might have had access to somebody's shit.
He did 13 years in a federal penitentiary, and he's since tried to. I'm like,
framed completely, right?
With you. Huh?
Or it's possible that he was framed completely.
I don't believe that in the slightest.
Really?
He did cop to it.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I
didn't hear that
did
part.
say that. I mean, well, that's not the whole story, Dave. They went. His girlfriend at the time was paralyzed. She lived in a wheelchair. She was self-sufficient. She had a car that was retrofitted so that she could drive it. Like all the pedals were levers that she could pull and push.
Oh, Lord.
Her name's Carla. I'd never forget her. But at the time, he lived with her, and they got him in custody. They show up at her house with warrants. Hey, and like 13 deep. We have a warrant to search your house, blah, 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 blah. And she was like, they were tearing shit up, Gabe. There was one point I told him, I mean, look at me. I'm in a wheelchair. Why don't you just start looking places that I can't get to? I can't get there. I can't get there. And boom, they started looking, and they were finding hard drives. They seized like 19 hard drives. I was like, what? VHS tapes. I was like, what? She said, I don't know what's on the tapes or the hard drives, but the fact that they're in my house and the FBI thought they were here
crazy,
somewhere. Dude. I'm like, what? So I used to have a brother. I don't anymore. I haven't talked to him in a solid 12,
dude,
13 years.
We should do a whole podcast on this. Right?
I haven't talked to him in a long, long time. And he used to try and communicate for a while on Facebook or whatever, but I just ignored all of them. He eventually went away. I think he's still on parole today. He had like a fucking 19-year parole. I'm like, what the fuck? They're just waiting for you to fuck up. So now he's devout Christian. God said this and God said that. You should believe the Bible. I'm like, fuck off, dude. Just bye.
Well, and same, right? Like, oh, wait, who's telling me I should believe in the Bible? Oh, all these people that are doing all this scandalous shit. Like, wait a minute. If you were living a holier than thou life, I might have listened to you.
Yeah, take it straight from the fucking dude who just got out of a federal penitentiary, which is significantly different from penitentiary. The state penitentiary is much different than federal penitentiary. You ain't getting out of it. If you're in the federal pen, you are in the federal pen. You're going to do your fucking sentence. Sit down and shut up. And he was in there for chomo shit.
Unless you're a Bernie Madoff, right?
He was in there for chomo shit. And on top of that, that's going to get around. And all 18 of them did all their time. But he didn't get the most time. There was several people out of the group of 18. I followed the story religiously. And there was some people got as many as 30 years. There's 3 of them that got 30 years. He only got 13.
How does that work?
I don't know. But they were really vague on the role. They were really
Basically, what
vague.
lawyer you can afford, right?
There's two guys that started the site, and one guy that funded most of it to host it independently. So it was like a dark web thing. So this was like before the dark web was cool. I'm
Yeah.
like, my fucking brother was in the fuck, dude.
Really, bro?
I mean, I can totally fucking see it. I could totally fucking see it. I could see it all make it made so much sense when he got popped. It was like, oh god damn. All these other fucking side things that have happened throughout my life. All of a sudden I'm like,
All
oh,
added up,
you
yeah.
fucking sick bastard.
Wow, dude, that's heavy.
Yeah. I do gotta get off this phone, man. I gotta go hang out with these people.
You go have fun, motherfucker.
But damn it, dude. We need to have. We're gonna sit and talk offline. We're gonna nail down the schedule, and big ups to the 5 people rocking with us right now. I appreciate you guys, man.
Appreciate you, man. Much
Jen and
love, much love.
Michelle, the Copper Goddess, VG. My eyesight's killing me.
We're just so just to run it back. Desert Fox and I met here on stereo. Didn't know that we had anything in common. Turns out we have so many things in common. It's crazy. Like our siblings' age. We're both preachers' kids. We've both witnessed, extraterrestrials or aliens or whatever you want to call them. Like we have all these things in common. It's just unreal. So like anytime we talk, we could just go.
I think we all have the implants. Yeah.
Yeah, but you go have fun, bro. We can continue this.
Appreciate each and every one of y'all. Subscribe, like. Oh, we got a comment there like, dude, don't leave.
All right, thanks for tuning into another episode and another thing with Dave. Please follow, subscribe, and share. I'm on all social media and another thing with Dave. And keep seeking the truth.